Tanya's arch rival is a full-grown man.
Right. So it's not really Mary Sue. It's the dad who's still alive.
I guess so.
Anton Sue.
Yeah, the horror brought about by the industrialized killing. The wars of World War I and World War II. Man.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the first like serious episode from this show.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They always glossed over, oh, killing in war is bad, but this is like, okay, now we're killing innocents.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, here we go.
All of the grants who have those ethical struggles is so widespread, is so ubiquitous to experience by all the soldiers that, you know, after World War II, Nuremberg trials immediately, ethics of war, right? A whole bunch of agreements to avoid millions of deaths like before. It was just so horrific. But, you know, Tanya's from the future.
Right.
So she's kind of introducing
Nuremberg-esque,
right, laws into place before, anachronistically, right? Yeah, Tanya's doing God's work.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. There will be no Hitler after this.
Because the Empire's going to win, right?
Yeah, right, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and also, you know, this way that we kill each other is okay. But this other way that we're going to kill each other and destroy people's homes and property is not okay. So, wage war.
From what I got from it is Tanya's introducing the evil way of doing it ahead of time, not the good way.
Did I just completely misunderstand?
Yeah, that's what the paper is pushing for. It's pushing for that. She wrote this, I guess, years ago before they did this basically offensive on Irene, but in advance saying that it's okay to get around the regulations on bombing civilian towns and using it as a pretext and using.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
forget everything I just said because I did not understand the context. I'm really not good at reading. Yeah. Especially when there's a bunch of like dialogue like this where they're not really showing us what they're going to do. They're just like talking about it.
Yeah, that's why the general like is so happy about because now he's got an effective pretext to just
there's a
swing the hammer
precedent for
win
for future city offenses. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not France riding around those rocking horses.
I'm the only one who is on Tanya's side here. War's not pretty. The decision was efficient and they were warned. Crazy Lolly is never wrong. And the new outro is good, but the previous one was levels better. Shame.
I like half agree with that because they do just quickly say that like, oh, we have a warning. Oh, we're not going to listen. And then they don't like deal with the complexities of that any further.
Right. That's what I was thinking about.
Right.
That's why I had the thoughts that I did. It's because of that, the formalities of the strategy. But you're right, because there's another level to it where in truth it's kind of diabolical.
Exactly, yeah. But the people of the town though can certainly maybe disagree.
They
and
can
say,
take up on it.
We should just leave. Right, because
but how could they?
Yeah, there's no precedent for it either. So of course they believe, we're not going to get bombed.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty neutral then, isn't it? It's just a strategic tool to be used for.
There's some history up above too.
Yeah.
The Nanjing Massacre, 1937. I don't know about this. It's interesting.
Oh, the Japanese against the Chinese in 1937.
That's interesting, huh? It's probably the same thing.
Right.
Evacuate.
20 years early. Yeah, I can appreciate this. Gotta love the dark shit light novels are able to push. This is funny. Gotta love the dark shit light novels. Like, light novels are shit. Like, I can't. Reading this is a little awkward. Wars don't make happy stories. Both sides committed atrocities in World War I, and it's good the author didn't try to make the MC's faction look innocent-like at all.
Yeah, I like how the author portrays it. It's not like a morality question. It's just the first one to try to play the moral game is the first side to lose. So if you try to be good and try to be guilty and stuff like that, boom, you're done.
Yeah, because it's hesitation.
Because the more powerful people are like, I can use this as an opportunity.
They haven't even
any
qualms.
Yeah.
They're exploiting morality of other people, moral standards.
Exactly.
I love that we don't know the motivation of why the war is going on, so there is no definitive bad guy, just morally questionable events like this. Yeah, it's World War I. You can look it up. You can wiki it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't get it. They were given multiple chances to escape. Why should anyone feel
We're talking
bad?
about that, yeah.
Right, it's all about intent here.
Yeah. But the thing that you got to add is this is the first time that this has happened. So the precedent is people are like, I'm safe actually. But nope. Not from now on.
Yeah, they would never do that.
Right, because it's never happened before.
It's a bluff.
At this point
They said that it's a bluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you remember the only reason why large-scale war hasn't erupted in the last 70 years is the strongest nations figuratively holding guns to each other's heads. That's actually untrue.
Oh, really?
That's actually untrue. Because that was true before World War I and World War II happened, but World War I and World War II happened anyway. Right? They were empires, they had guns to each other's heads, and they pulled the trigger.
Right.
And so we got the world wars. For the last 70 years, the reason why there hasn't been large-scale war like that is because no one can defeat the United States.
I see. There's a winner.
Yeah.
Right. There's not
yeah.
competing powers.
Yeah.
I see.
There's a completely lopsided military power in one benign entity. Benign, right?
Benign,
but
right.
when I say benign, I mean like, are we in World War II right now? No. So benign, right? Yeah. That one nation holding guns to everyone else's head. And like, what are they going to do about it?
No one can compete. Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, it's everyone else is benefiting
from that. Yeah.
from the economy, world economy, right? International trade. So it's not that simple. That's part of the reason, because nukes.
Right.
But there's much larger reasons why there hasn't been war, large scale war in the last 70 years. There has been small war, and we all know about it. Gulf War, Middle East, right? To those of you claiming they are not Nazi, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, it's a duck. Justify evil all you want. The evil is in all of us. Read the comments. God's evil for denying us free will.
Oh my.
This comment makes zero sense.
Yeah, there's too many thoughts going on here.
Let's just break it down, because this is an interesting comment. Because some of it's interesting and some of it's nonsense.
So he's trying to deny that these guys really are Nazis. Okay. Because they act and walk like Nazis.
Well, they're not.
They're evil.
Because it's not race motivated.
Right.
Right?
It's just trying to win the war.
Right. It's
through whatever methods.
Right. World War I was just nationalism run amok.
Yeah, Nazism is very different.
Yeah, it is very different. So it's not quacking like a duck, and it's not walking like a duck, and it's not swimming like a duck. So it's not a duck. Justify evil all you want? No. Definitely don't do that. So yeah, correct. Because this is an ironic statement.
Right.
The evil isn't all of us. True.
Read
it. God's evil for denying us free will. This just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a non sequitur.
That's funny. Yeah, it's just all very scattered.
Evil for denying us, like, the God in this series is definitely not denying anyone free will.
Right.
It's the opposite, right?
Yeah.
He's giving choices and then saying, like, which one are you going to choose?
And
Tanya.
giving inspiration to Anton Su as well, if it is the same God. I
don't know. I saw horns.
Right? Yeah.
I saw horns, brother.
Being X and being Y. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get something
I don't know
there.
what's going on here. One thing is I don't understand is why being X is so hard in making one person have faith. Are they frustrated that humanity has lost faith, so they're trying to see what causes people to lose it and regain it with Tanya? Or are they just stubborn?
You should
stubborn, maybe?
Thought. Yeah.
That's where I see that thought going. But
maybe he's in the replies.
Bro, read the Bible.
Yeah.
The Bible's full of stories like this.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like, what the fuck is God doing?
Yeah, what is happening?
Yeah,
what's the meaning of this?
God has to prove its existence to Tanya, thereby denying its own existence, as the whole idea of God is that we are supposed to have faith that there is a higher power of good in the universe. A little bit simplistic.
I actually don't understand the logic. God has to prove its existence to Tanya, thereby denying its own existence.
Yeah, it's like so. What he's saying is that the fact that God has to prove his existence is the proof that it's not God.
Oh,
right? If God existed and was God in totality,
then everyone would have faith.
But that's just false.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah,
right, that's just false. That's interesting. So the premise of the whole comment here is just doesn't make sense. Also, higher power of good in the universe. Yeah, read the Old Testament. Read the Old Testament.
This guy thinks, so God is depicted as being jealous, vain, to cause the death and suffering of large numbers of people if he's improperly being worshipped.
There you go. Yeah, the Old Testament of the Bible. Yeah. And if you take the Old Testament seriously and you read it carefully and you try to understand the psychology of what's happening in each story, God is a lot more interesting than just some all good, all powerful, all knowing being.
The challenge, the intellectual challenges, it's the same God of the New Testament.
That is an intellectual challenge.
Yeah.
That's one that I still haven't worked out myself.
Right, yeah.
God wants faith, creates the devil. You see, that's the thing about Job, right? The book of Job.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know, in the book of Job, God makes a deal with the devil, over the soul of one man. And that's the same question that comes up here. Is like, why is he just dealing with Tanya?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the question in the Old Testament. Is why is God just dealing with one person?
One person.
Why doesn't he spread responsibility out over all the people and have everyone participate? Because that's not how the world works.
Right.
Yeah. One person makes things happen. That's not like a statement of fact. That's more like, that's the argument that the Bible's making when you take all the stories
and combine them together.
Yeah. Is that one person moves history along and that God works through that person.
Yeah.
So in this story, just happens to be Tanya. It's like, well, then why do stories have one protagonist?
I know.
It's like asking that question.
Yeah.
You know,
and as humans, that's the only way we can understand stories anyways.
Yeah.
Right? Too many, unless you're a history buff, then you can't understand that, right? But a lot of us are at the lower level. We need fiction, we need stories, we need just individuals. and then follow their narratives.
Right. Yeah, following a people, that's just sociology.
Right.
Right. That's science. That's not a story. Depends on what you're willing to accept on the baseline definition of things.
Sure.
So if you don't buy it, you don't buy it. I love how it is in all capital B and capital W, black and white.
Right.
Interesting.